Hello and welcome to Sew Sewn Make. This is Donna. I wanted to show you my new art journal page using the Art by Marlene art journaling collage book. There's lots and lots of ideas in this book. I'm just having a look through here to see what's inspiring me for today. And I've spotted this page with the lady and also the one with the fields and the wheat growing. And I can think to myself there's a really lovely idea brewing in terms of how to use these two pages, putting them together and hopefully creating a lady running through the fields and having a great time. So this is the perfect size art journal book by Art by Marlene, and putting together the pages here, considering how to put them together, and starting to fussy cut the kind of wheat field, the field kind of aspect in terms of the wheat and those those plants, taking away the fields in the background. I really like the way she's done the fields here in terms of the different colours and the effects. It really does remind me of an autumn time in England where you can kind of go through the English countryside and see all the different colour fields happening. And then obviously as soon as the weather's good, the farmers are out there really trying to bring their crops in as fast as they can before the rains come. I'm not going to show you all the fussy cutting here, but I've kind of kept it in real time so you can see really what's involved in fussy cutting an image. I'm carefully going round the I think they're wheat ends there, and being careful in terms of trying to capture and keep all of the elements around that those plants. And in the end, I decide to cut that bit off, but I don't waste it. I'm going to use it a bit later on and bring that back in. So I cut that piece off, and that kind of just keeps it below the lady. What I don't want to do is overpower her and hide all of that lovely red hair that she has. Just cutting off some extra pieces as well on the left hand side. Again, not to overpower her, and just let it frame her in the field, hopefully running through, having a fantastic time in the fields. So I'm doing the sky here, so I'm kind of doing the smudging technique with the oxide inks. Lovely effects here, so kind of spray it with some water, so smudge it on your mat. And this is the Art by Marlene craft mat, which is fabulous in terms of easy clean up, and you can just kind of let yourself go in terms of using it for putting your paint down and then being able to see it. So some mats can be a bit dark and you kind of lose the colour of the paint, but here you can see all the paint where it is. And I'm just smudging it down on my paper. It's really good quality paper. It's about 300 GSM, and you can throw as much water and different paints at it and it will just dry flat. I also do the same thing with a different colour as well. So there's two colours of oxide inks there. And now I'm bringing out the distress ink. So not the oxide, but the distress inks, just to get some different shades of blue. And I'm using Marlene's new stamp set. And I've put all of the listing of all the stamps and stencils and whatever I've used in the comments below. And I've just kind of free stamped that one. So I've not used a block. I've just gone in and free stamped it just to get some background abstracts. And I'm going to use this bubble. I really love this bubble stamp. It's great for getting all those little kind of bubbly effects in the background. So get some ink on there. Reshape that paper a bit. Put that down. So here I'm not really kind of got any particular pattern in mind. I'm just randomly stamping where it feels right. putting some of those patterns down. This stamp set is fabulous. There's a really good selection of stamps, and it's great. I think it's going to be a very well used stamp set over time, in terms of having different effects. And I'm using a white pen here. Notorious, aren't they, white pens for not working when you need them to? And I think I kind of try this one out for a bit until the ink starts flowing properly. And I just work my way around those bubbles, just putting a bit of a little dotty effect inside the bubbles. And then I decide to use some of the smaller stamps in terms of getting some more little effects in the background. Again, I think I'm using just different colour blue distress inks and trying her out in terms of where she's going to fit on the page. And then I'm putting a little framing kind of circle effect, stamping at the top, and again just using a bit of the white paint to get some effect at the top there, and edge the paint with the distress ink. So this is just to give it a bit of a kind of a darker edge and really give it a bit of a framing. So this is where I stick the lady down. So I'm using the Art by Marlene PVA glue, and sticking her down, and it's really good strong glue. It doesn't need an awful lot. Dot it around a bit and then stick her down. It kind of dries very quickly, so you get a short amount of time for repositioning, but once it's down, it's mostly down. And then again, as I say, I'm going to glue down this field of lovely plants that she's running through, feeling very, very happy. End of the year, kind of just before the autumn and winter season starts. She's running through and putting these plants down, moving her hand out the way because I want to put some of those fronds of wheat in her hand that she's going to hold. So here they go. So again, a little bit of glue just to hold them in her hand and get them right, well positioned. And then I'm going to glue the tops of them down as well. Glue those down. And then here's those pieces I cut off earlier. So I'm just going to kind of add a little bit on that left-hand side, feeling that flare on the left there is slightly distracting for me. So I'm going to soften up that edge by adding some more greens, just to balance up the overall balance of the picture, and add some green in as well as the reds. It just felt a little bit dark in that bottom left-hand corner and a bit distracting. The eye was kind of going off the page. I don't really want the eye to go off the page. I want you to be looking at her and circling around her. So that's that. And of course, then that's kind of pointing too far into and just kind of want to put something up the left hand side there, and it just feels compositionally a little bit more even for me, a bit more balanced. Just kind of cut off those edges so it sits in my book a bit easier. And have a look at it when it comes back over. Yeah, that feels nice. It kind of, that, the plantage seems to kind of come round and encircle her, and hopefully draws the eye to her face, and how happy she's looking to be going through the field. Now at this point, sometimes you feel like adding a few more kind of white marks and things like that, but actually I was quite happy with the picture. I didn't want to put too much more on her. I thought the definition in the picture was sufficient. So what I'm going to do here is, I like this slogan, art is freedom. For me, it just epitomised the way that she seemed to be feeling. So I'm just taking off some of that excess white around the words, so that there's more focus on the colour in the page rather than necessarily the slogan kind of sticker. I'm just taking that little of excess off. A bit more definition. And I'm thinking also at the same time about how to position this on the page. And I think I kind of changed my mind a few times in terms of how it's going to go. Does it go on the left? Does it go on the right? You know, and I kind of go for a kind of a wavy effect in the end, I think. So you can see me kind of positioning the words temporarily until it feels right. So yeah, I kind of split it up so that it kind of shapes around a bit better. There. I was quite happy with that, bit more of a tweaking. Just so it kind of follows the overall ebb and flow of the page. I didn't want any too straight a line. And this is the amount of tweaking sometimes that goes on in terms of getting to a position where I feel, yeah, I'm happy with that now. And then I kind of go in and do some outlining, a little bit of outlining on the word, just to get it stand out from the background colour a bit more. And I'm just using a black marker, permanent marker pen here. I think it's like a 0.5 or a 0.7. Yeah, they're kind of flowing off the edge. I'm just using that pen to join things up a bit more, so it feels like it's kind of flowing across the page. And I'm quite happy there. So I'm going to put it back in my book. Put the holes back in. Yep, she goes back in there. And there we are. That's my new art journal page. Thank you very much.